folks, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to Look Back. This is where I take a look at reviews that I did a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago. Although in this instance, I don't have anything from 10 years ago. Guess I was a bit of a slacker this week. But let's take a look at last year. First of all, we have a game called Oregon Trail, which is obviously based on the computer game, and it is awful. I mean, awful. The 2 here is probably way too high. I think I gave it a 2 instead of a 1 because it was funny to see Jason lose on the very first card draw of the game. But come on. Control. This is a game in which you are playing different cards and trying to get different numbers as you play the card. It's kind of a take-that game. It looks really pretty, but when it came down to it, there was no substance in this game whatsoever. I was very unhappy with it. They Who Were 8 has this almost pretentious style theme of you have these gods that you have, although the whole thing is really abstracted. But it almost feels like this is a game that you are supposed to like, but I just really didn't enjoy it as you take these tokens and move them around the board and you're trying to have tokens with the person next to you and the other side of you, and that sounds interesting, just didn't work at all. Just another take that game. Mea Culpa, this is another game that I thought I would enjoy because of the theme. The theme is kind of sin all you want, and then, you know, make sure you buy enough indulgences to pay off for it at the end. Yeah, it sounds good, but the game is overly complex for what turns out to be just a few choices over the game. There's a lot going on, a lot of different options, a lot of different roles and things, but it never feels like you're making any fulfilling choices. Then we have Bemused. Bemused is a game that's hovering here at a 6, could drop. It's a social deduction game where you have different muses and you're trying to figure out who other people are and knock them out. And there's some interesting ideas here, but it doesn't really come above that level of greatness that a social deduction game really needs. City of Zombies. This is a game I've enjoyed more as time goes by because this is an excellent math teaching tool for kids. I have to really kind of look at it in that way as you have these zombies that are coming and you need to use people to stop them, and combinations of numbers and putting numbers together is what's going to stop the zombies as they come in. It's a really cool concept, and I'm not a big zombie fan, but I liked this one. DC Dice Masters, Superman and Wonder Woman. It's DC Dice Masters, Superman, and Wonder Woman. You want some of those in your set? You got them. Slide Blast. This is an interesting game as you put tiles and make these super duper cool looking water slides. I'm kind of surprised this one hasn't got more buzz. It really should. It's an easy intro level family style game of tiling. Then we have Bomishdorfer. I'm not going to even try to pronounce this one. It just was released. I just got it like yesterday. Bohemian Villages. Is the Tasty Minstrel. It looks like it's the exact same game. I like this one though. This is rolling dice and placing different people on spots depending on the combinations of dice that you have, different ways to score. It's a nice, lightweight family game. Kerala. So Kerala is an elephant game, although it's kind of an abstract strategy style game. You're putting different color elephants, putting tiles down. Looks gorgeous, looks beautiful, and it's a decent game. Brilliance. This is a game about ants. I tend to like games about ants, and in this one you're going to be moving ants around and maybe a little bit of attacking, but it's mostly about getting food and getting it down and different ways to upgrade your ants. A lot of cool options in this one and some really neat pieces. Then Jump Drive. I did not expect to like Jump Drive as much as I did. This prequel to Race for the Galaxy is just a simple game of building card combinations that are going to score you points and or money each turn. And the game only lasts maybe 7 and 8 turns or so, but it's really fun to see all the different combos you can pull off in that time frame. Fast, easy, you can replay it over and over. And then Kaiju Incorporated. This is another game I was not expecting to enjoy. But this one where you are bidding on contracts after the kaiju have been destroyed. I might use their hair for something or what have you. And so you are trying to bid on these different contracts. So it's kind of like a little bit of an auction style game as you get these, and you're going to get points on other people's turns sometimes based on things that happen. Really cool concept, and I like the theme a lot. All right, let's go back 5 years ago, 3012. This game is just a mess. The rules aren't very good. It has a neat idea, you know, the future and stuff, but just a mess. Don't even bother. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one where I disagree with other reviewers. Notably, I guess, Shut Up and Sit Down really likes this game. I found it kind of I don't know, I didn't like the whole ladies and gentlemen, and the ladies were shopping and then they had to get money from the men. And maybe it's satirical and all, but I just didn't find it fun. And the game itself I thought was okay. That okay with a theme that I didn't really enjoy, didn't really do anything for me. Angry Birds, Star Wars Angry Birds, the AT-AT. Angry Birds, very popular, not as popular today as it was when this came out, but just kind of, it was a physical shooting birds and knocking things over. It was okay, okay. Seasons, Enchanted Kingdom. I didn't like this expansion as much as I thought I would. It was a fine expansion, added more stuff, but it added like some rules that changed the game. I thought the game was kind of fine as it is. I didn't need a random rule that said you could only play one card. It added a little bit more, and this expansion does a little bit better when you add in the second expansion, because it feels like they should have just been one bigger expansion together. Acuity. This is a game that I really don't remember a whole lot about, so you can go check out my review to see more. Ace Detective. This is a story-driven game where you're kind of following a story, trying to solve a mystery. It sounds a lot cooler than it is. It's a little bit more straightforward, and it's more about telling the story than it is about solving. Julius Caesar. I was really surprised by this one because it's a block war game from Columbia Games. I don't know what made me decide to play it. I played it with Melody. She liked it. I liked it. We don't want to go down that route of playing block war games. Not something I want to play all the time, but it was very well done, and I was kind of surprised she liked it. 5 Points, Gangs of New York. This is a game obviously based on the movie Gangs of New York, even though they won't say so. You're trying to control different regions. It's kind of an area control, a mean area control game. I've downgraded a point because I just have no tolerance these days for how low the component quality was in this game. Just wasn't very good at all. The game itself is decent. And then finally, Lancaster expansion, Henry V. Lancaster is a great worker placement game. Very interactive, in-your-face style game where you're putting in big blocks and knocking each other out. A lot of really cool concepts here, and this expansion added more stuff, a few modules to add in. Nothing groundbreaking, but more good stuff. So those are the reviews I did 1 year and 5 years ago. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Look Back on the Dice Tower.